Okay, Assalamualaikum. So today we continue the rest of lecture 4. So this is the last part that we have covered in our previous class, AEIOU observation framework. So I believe everyone has done the task given related to AEIOU observation. Okay, today we continue this one, evaluation. We're going to see what does it mean by evaluation. So according to Pot et al. 2015, evaluation means the systematic assessment of the design, implementation, or results of an initiative for the purpose of learning and learning or decision making. Okay, for example, as a lecturer or teacher, the evaluation will be done on the student, okay, to assess whether the teaching and learning process has been carried out successfully. Okay, um, that is evaluation. So how can we perform evaluation? So this is based on a few techniques. Okay, these are the evaluation techniques. Okay, consists of surveys, interviews, social network analysis, focus groups, observations, tests, document studies, key informant, and also case studies. Okay, so let's look at quickly one by one the technique that can be used for evaluation. So the first one is surveys. Okay, this is the one that you use for your first assignment. So for surveys, data collections will consist of two components, questions and response. So you give question or you distribute questionnaire to the respondent and you get back their responses. So information is to be collected from a large number of people. Answers are needed to a clearly defined set of questions. So to get um, the answer that you want for your evaluation that is beneficial for your evaluation technique, you must design a proper set of questions. So kalau you nak tahu satu-satu perkara tu dengan tepat, okay, you have to design a proper and appropriate question to be answered by the respondent. Okay, the second one is interviews. Okay, data collections which yield information through interviewees. Okay, you get some of the respondent and you ask them. Okay, you help interview session with them. So the assumption is that the participants' perspective are meaningful, knowable, and can be made explicit, and that their perspective affect the success of the project. So of course, when you had interview session with your interviewees, you consider their response, what they answer, what their answers, to be considered as your be considered for your evaluation. Okay, can be made explicit means stated clearly and in detail, leaving no room for confusion or doubt. So during the interviews, you have to make sure you get the response from your interviewees clearly and in detail. You should ask for details. Okay? If their answer is not not satisfying, so you should ask, okay, in detail, and so that there will be no confusion or doubt in their answer. Okay, because their answers will affect the success of your project, means the evaluation that you are going to do. Okay, next one is social network analysis. Methods focusing on the analysis of the patterns or structure of dyadic social ties and interdependencies that occur in social groups and organizations. Okay, so dyadic social ties can be described as interaction. Okay, maybe according to can be related to family relation, interest, work, partners in crime. Maksudnya hubung kait antara satu grup dengan satu grup yang lain ataupun a pair of individuals. Okay. Hubung kait antara satu sama lain. Antara satu grup dengan satu grup. Tak kira lah gender ke. Okay. Anything. Okay. Next one is focus groups, gathering of 8 to 12 people who share some characteristics relevant to evaluation. Okay, so you find out 8 to 12 people with same characteristics related to your study, what you are going to evaluate. And then methods are combinations of interviewing and participants observation of the group interaction to generate data and insight. Cari orang yang mempunyai personality ataupun karakteristik kan. Karakteristik yang sama terhadap apa yang you nak kaji, nak evaluate. Then you interview, you observe their group interaction. Okay, then you generate some data, some insight. Next one is observation, already mentioned here in focus group. So observation means methods by which an individual or individuals gather first-hand data on the intervention, processes or behaviors being studied. Okay, as I mentioned, for example, you are going to evaluate based on focus group, you have to observe 8 to 12 people. So what are you going to observe? Actually, you're going to observe the processes involved in that period of observation. Maksudnya apa yang group of people tu buat, kalau melibatkan proses, macam mana proses, how that process take place, and their behavior, tingkah laku orang tu kan, secara first hand lah, primary data. Okay. Dan macam mana dia a few, let's say 8 to 12 people, how they interact with each other. Okay, intervention. Okay. Next one is test. Okay, test methods to assess subjects' knowledge. Usually in teaching and learning, right? And capacity to apply this knowledge to new situation. So for example, in teaching and learning, school, universities, right, higher learning institution, the teacher or the lecturer teach you new knowledge, and then in the test, you will be given new situation to apply that knowledge. Maksudnya not necessarily exactly the same thing that you learn in the class, but you have to apply your what you have learned, the knowledge that you have learned to new situation. So it is possible to gather information on the status of knowledge or the change in status of knowledge over time. Macam kita lah, kita ada OBE, right? Entrance survey and exit survey. So to see the change of knowledge. Okay. Then document studies method to find out insights through existing records, public record or personal document. Okay, for example, we want to see the performance of student in 5 years. So of course, somebody will be assigned to produce the document studies. Okay, to collect all the data for the 5 years period and then compile it into one document study. Then key informant, surveying or interviewing or doing focus group with a person or group of people who can help the evaluation team better understand the issue being evaluated and what the project participants say and do. Key informant ni kan. Okay, key informant maksudnya orang yang boleh membantu tim memahami dengan lebih baik lah. Okay, satu-satu situasi tu. Okay, case studies, intensive, detailed descriptions and analysis of a single project, program and instructional material in the context of its environment where the evaluator is immersed in the life of the site or institution. Okay, case studies, I think you already know this term. Okay. Okay, so biasanya kalau case study, let's say you want to evaluate the effectiveness of online teaching and learning at a higher learning institution. For example, you go to one university, or you pick up one group of students, and you make them as your case studies. Okay. Okay. Next one is, let's look at the usability test. This is very related to your first assignment. Usability testing refers to evaluating a product or service by testing it with representative users. So you distribute your questionnaires to those who have used the service, who have experience in using that product or service, right? So typically during a test, participant will try to complete typical tasks while observers watch, listen and takes note. Okay. Okay, usability test ni biasanya, let's say we come up with new service, a new product, for example. Katalah kita buat satu, we come out with one application, mobile apps, for example. Then we want to uh, help we want to perform the usability test. So we find out a few participants try to complete typical tasks. For example, you design an online shopping apps, mobile apps, new online shopping. So give them that apps, ask them to find out the product that they want to buy, try to place order, and try to complete the order, doing the payment and so on. So participant will try to complete the typical task, and then we as the observers watch, listen and takes note. Okay, whether there are some difficulties faced by the participant, whether they are confused with the icon, or anything problem related to the apps. So the goal is to identify any usability problems, collect qualitative and quantitative data. So for example, how long they take to find the icon, or the field, field, the field to type, to search for the product that they want. Okay, for example, how long they take, how many times they have to click to get the correct data, or something like that. Okay, and determine the participant satisfaction with the product, and whether they satisfied their experience with the product. So to run an effective usability test, you need to develop a solid test plan, recruit participants, and then analyze and report your findings. Macam saya kata tadi lah, let's say you come up with a new mobile apps for online shopping. Macam mana you nak tahu, how do you know, how are you going to know that your apps is better than the existing apps in the market? Okay, you have to have solid test plan. Okay, what are you going, how can you determine, how can you figure out the problem, user problem, while using your app? So of course, let's say the apps is for online shopping, so of course you want to see, you want that the user can place their order, can search product in a very short time, then they can place order easily. Okay, they can make payment without any problem. You have choices of payment. So you have to design macam mana you nak minta participant tu, apa task yang you nak mereka buat. Okay, so that you can assess the usability. Okay, so questionnaires. This is the questionnaires. Example of questionnaires to assess perceived usability and perceived user satisfaction. Okay, so these are the system usability skills standard version. Okay, supposed to be strongly disagree one. Okay, this is the common way of doing SUS, System Usability Skill Standard Version. So yang first assignment itu tak apalah. Kalau ada yang buat strongly disagree 5, strongly agree 1, so never mind. Okay, but usually we use this standard system usability skill, commonly used. Okay, system usability skill standard version. Okay, these are some of the common question used to measure the perseverance. I think I would like to use this system. Okay, bila you bagi, when you give um, uh, your new product, for example, an online shopping mobile apps to your participant, and then you distribute this questionnaire to get their opinion. So I think that I would like to use this system. Okay, maksudnya kita nak tengok adakah mereka akan mereka fikir mereka akan guna sistem tu. And then I found the system unnecessarily complex. This is to measure the complexity kan. Nak tengok user tu whether they think the system is complex. Sometimes when we use certain apps, we found that that apps is very complex. We do not know where to click, or we only know after we spend a lot of time looking at each of the icon, for example. The next one is I thought the system was easy to use. Okay, I think that I would need the support of a technical person to be able to use the system. Okay, some system or some product, usually application kan, or any product, any kind of product, not necessarily application IT apps ke apa. Apa sahaja barang bila kita beli, adakah kita perlu tanya orang, okay, ni nak tekan kat mana kan. Okay, ataupun once we look at the product, we know already, okay, this is the button to on the product, this is where the the cable should be connected to. Okay, how easy berapa cepat you boleh faham cara nak guna tu, ataupun you perlu tanya penjual, contact orang tu orang ni. Okay, I found the various function in the system were well integrated. Okay, adakah sistem dia tu saling berhubung kait dengan baik. Okay, I thought there was too much inconsistency in the system. Okay, contohlah kalau katalah satu apps, kita nak order kat sini, lepas tu bila nak buat bayaran kena log in kat tempat lain pula ke. Okay, so that shouldn't happen, right? I would imagine that most people would learn to use this system very quickly. I found the system very cumbersome to use. I felt very confident using the system. Okay, bila system tu mudah, easy to use, of course the user will feel confident to use the system, the product or anything. I needed to learn a lot of things before I could get doing with this system. Adakah orang tu perlu belajar, macam saya kata tadi lah, perlu belajar, ambil masa untuk faham sistem tu nak klik kat mana. Okay, macam you nak print result, you know already, mungkin ada icon print. Okay, so the system usability scale, SUS, in short we call it SUS, and you have already seen the formula, right? For your first assignment, there are formula attached, given to you. Okay, SUS, the one that you use, the formula that you use for your first assignment is actually the for the SUS calculation. Okay, next, let's look at the questionnaire to measure perceived user satisfaction. This one is for perceived usability, this one for perceived user satisfaction. Okay, this is the post-study usability questionnaire. Okay, overall, I am satisfied with how easy it is to use the system. It was simple to use the system. Okay, still, we are talking about the simplicity of the system. Okay, not complex, right? Was able to complete the tasks and scenarios quickly using the system. Of course, when the system is simple, it's easy to use, we develop the satisfaction from the user's side. Okay, I felt comfortable using this system. It was easy to learn. I believe I could become productive quickly using this system. Okay, of course, when the system is easy to use, the productivity of the user will increase also. The system gave error message that clearly told me how to fix problem. Okay, if you realize in some apps, um, the apps requires we as the users um, to give some input. For example, you have to key in your maybe account number, and suddenly let's say you accidentally put additional numbers. So let's say kalau sepatutnya account number tu 16 numbers, use put 17, so the system will give error message. Okay, the input should be only 16 numbers, for example. So you know how you should put the input. Okay, for example, you should key in your uh, telephone number. So if you don't put the dash or whatever, so the system, if it expect dash in the input, and it will notify the user. Whenever I make mistake using the system, I could recover easily and quickly. Okay, the information such as online help, on-screen message, and the communication provided with the system was clear. Kan, sometimes bila kita guna satu app, satu website ke apa sahaja produk ataupun servis, kalau ada online help, bila kita when we stuck with the process, we uh, we appreciate if they provide the online help or FAQ, frequently asked question ke, on screen message ke, kan. It was easy to find, so we feel satisfied. It was easy to find the information that I need, ataupun you search je dah ada, kan. The information was effective in helping me complete the tasks and scenarios. Okay, ataupun dia dah letak dalam FAQ dia, kalau jadi macam ni, this is what we are going to do. So the organization of information on the system screen was clear. The interface of the system was pleasant. Sometimes kita bukan sahaja how easy the system should be, the interface also plays a very important role. Whether the colors, the way they put the button, right? I like using the interface of the system, tak crowded sangat, right? Warna dia ceria ke, okay, ataupun dull macam tu, it affect our satisfaction. So this system has all the function and capabilities I expect it to have. For example, kalau ada online shopping platform, okay, you want to find certain product that exactly, maksudnya bila you type, dia boleh keluar terus produk yang you nak tu. Okay, ataupun you bila you type, keluar juga benda lain yang you tak nak. Okay, then that will affect our satisfaction. Overall, I am satisfied with this system. So the interface, okay, bawah tu, the interface include those items that you use to interact the system. For example, some component of the interface are the keyboard, mouse, microphone, and the screen also, including the graphics and language. Ataupun dia menyediakan a few choices for the language, right? Maybe you apa ni, you prefer English or you prefer Malay, you can set according to your preferences. Okay, whether you want to use the mouse, the keyboard, and so on. And this one, perceived player satisfaction. This one is specifically for the game. Okay, product related to game. Okay, for example, you have what game PlayStation, kan, to what extent did the game hold your attention, ataupun kalau online game, kan, sejauh mana dia menarik perhatian you, how much effort did you put into playing the game. Okay, macam mana nak faham, did you feel that you were trying your best. Okay, to what extent did you lose track of time, Did you feel the urge to see what was happening around you? To what extent you enjoy playing the game rather than something you were just doing? To what extent did you find the game challenging? Mencabar, sejauh mana mencabarnya ataupun susah sangat sampai tak lepas-lepas level? How well do you think you perform in the game? To what extent did you feel emotionally attached to the game? Okay, certain game macam kita rasa kita masuk ke dalam dunia game tu. Okay, so to what extent did you enjoy the graphics and imaginary? Okay, grafik dia macam mana? Adakah 3D yang you rasa macam betul-betul you berada dalam uh, the game? How much would you say you enjoy playing the game? You enjoy sangat-sangat ke sampai rasa you nak recommend dekat kawan you? Would you like to play the game again? Sometimes ada game yang kita sekali cuba macam malas lah, boring lah, lambat ataupun susah sangat nak achieve dia punya target kan. Okay, the next one is, let's look at this one. How about this Netflix remote control? Okay, does the remote look crowded? Okay, you try to answer on your own. Is the remote easy to use? What do you think? Easy to learn new buttons on the remote? Maksudnya, contoh bila sekali pandang, adakah you tahu red one is forward, the green one is for button forward, and so on. The numbers is forward. Okay, this right here, what is the difference between this and this? Ataupun, or you have to refer to the manual. Okay, so you try to answer. Okay, this is what we have done today. Okay,